Gen Zs are more entrepreneurial than any other generations because of the technological advancements that has happened. Gen Zs probably are not aspiring to get into a regular 9 to 5 job, but they are more focused on freelancing opportunities, or they're trying to create their own opportunities through content creation. Today, it's like anybody can create a good video. The fundamental nature of business is that unless you give value, you will not get back value. If I have made a mistake, somebody else don't have to make the same mistake to learn from that, right? We always say learn from mistakes, like, or learn from our mistakes. I say learn from others' mistakes also.
The greatest of all time, a man of lies of disguise. Can you see it in my eyes? The greatest of all time, an agent with a secret, a soldier, the deepest, a father to a family. The greatest, come follow me.
Hello, we are from NGI Media Live, and here we have Mr. Mittu Tigi, CEO, AIC IIIT Kottayam. Hello, sir.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Sir, I have a question to you. What is the inspiration that you had to the entrepreneurship journey?
I started my entrepreneurial journey probably in 2007 or 8. Um, Probably at a time when I didn't know the word entrepreneurship or how it's spelled, right? It was more of an opportunity at that point of time. So this was in my college time, and I was good with designing, designing these kind of brochures and a few other things. And there were few programs that were happening in college, and I started working on these, marketing for these kind of events. And I realized that there was a skill that I had, right, that could be used by other people. And then there were few inquiries for few businesses from nearby places who said, can you help us with these kind of things? And then I realized that, okay, there are people who value the skill, and there's an opportunity to make money. And that's how I started with my first venture, which was into branding and design at that point of time. So this was probably in my third year or second year of my college. It was not a planned activity at that point of time in Kerala or India. The concept of startups and entrepreneurship, all of this was very, very minimal, right? Like, we didn't have this many incubation centers or anything like that. So we didn't have. Today, I think students have more opportunity to say that I want to start up, because they are seeing a lot of startups. They have facilities like these incubation centers within their colleges. So there is a awareness that, okay, you can start a business. But when I was doing this, as I said, I didn't know the word entrepreneurship. For us, it was more. We didn't know the word of startups. We just said, okay, we are starting a business, right? So that was the whole thing. It was not a very well planned, thought out, strategic move. It was more like there was an opportunity, and I was just grabbing onto that opportunity. In fact, I think that's what a lot of entrepreneurs actually do. They find some opportunity and they grab onto it.
As we know, entrepreneurship does not come sudden, it's all of a sudden.
Right.
With the opportunity we get, we grab it. So, how was your journey into being an entrepreneurship enabler?
Again, this also happened, unplanned. So I was running my company at that point of time, like 3 or 4 years into it, and I was part of a national program called Jagrati Yatra, so which is a train yatra that takes 500 young entrepreneurs across India on a 15-day yatra. So I was a participant for this yatra, and mainly Jagrati Yatra focuses on social entrepreneurship. So one of the organizations in Kerala called Head Start Network Foundation, they asked me to come and talk to the entrepreneurs over there on social entrepreneurship. Because I just completed this yatra, and that was more focused on social entrepreneurship across India. So they wanted me to share the experience of the yatra, how social entrepreneurship is looked at across India, etc. So it was a talking session. I went there, I spoke about my experience, what social entrepreneurship is all about, how India is looking at social entrepreneurship, what we could do in Kerala around it. And I felt that what Head Start was doing was good, and but then we should do more, right? I felt we should do more. So I talked to the so Head Start runs it as a city chapter, mostly. So every city there is a chapter. Even Coimbatore we had a chapter at some point. Now it's a bit inactive due to the volunteers not being there. So I talked to the city lead at that point. I said, I think what you guys are doing are good, but we should do something more. We should do this at scale. We should bring much better people to interact with the founders, all of that. And that led to the city lead saying, why don't you join us, and why don't you be a part of Head Start in organizing these kind of things? So I said, yeah, sure, why not? I thought it would be a good opportunity. So I didn't at that point know the word called ecosystem enabler, or that I was going to do that. I was more trying to see if I can create an impact for other entrepreneurs, for other startup founders, through a community based approach, where a lot of learnings can be shared. Like if I have made a mistake, somebody else don't have to make the same mistake to learn from that, right? We always say learn from mistakes, like, or learn from our mistakes. I say learn from others mistakes also, right? So that you don't waste a lot of time in your life. Somebody else has already made the same mistake that you have made. You don't have to go again and make the same mistake. So this is the power of community, right? So I am going to do marketing for my product in such some way, and then if I know another founder who has done this and probably failed, I can take from his or her experience and either change my approach, or maybe not do that at all if I feel that it's not going to work. So that's a power of community. So I felt this is much needed. In This was way back in 2015, so I felt this was much needed for Kerala at that point of time, because entrepreneurship and startups were not discussed at length or scale, or there were not enough community based engagements, and that's how I got into it. Then, like many years down the line, the word ecosystem enabler was coined somewhere by somebody, and then today all of these incubation jobs and jobs that you do in the government which are related to startups, all of them today are called ecosystem enabler jobs also. But then that's how I got into it, and then eventually after I think 6 or 7 years, we got into consulting, where we started working with other incubators, government organizations or corporates that wanted to support startups. So the consulting experience got me even more exposure and knowledge into what's happening in the startup space. And then again, Head Start being a very national organization, although I was based out of Kochi, I had very strong ties to all the major city-based ecosystems across India. So that also gave a lot of exposure, and eventually that led to the current role that I'm doing, which is at an Atal Incubation Center, which is a central government Niti Aayog funded incubator at a institute of national importance called IIIT Kottayam. So that led to the CEO role. So it was not a very planned move, but even so at this point, like by 2020, I was doing two things. I was also volunteering as an ecosystem enabler, and I was an entrepreneur. I was running my own business at that point. I think 2022, around that time, I took a decision that I can't do both and do justice to both these roles, and I need to focus on something specifically. So that's when I decided to go full time into being an ecosystem enabler. So it is not a very planned activity. Again, there was an opportunity to do something good, grab the opportunity, worked on top of it, realized that more needed to be done, and then eventually found a purpose in what I'm doing, and then focus more on that. So that was how it was.
It's nice to hear your journey. So, one last question, sir. How would you inspire the students, the current so called Gen Z students, to entrepreneurship?
I think Gen Zs are more entrepreneurial than any other generations, because of the technological advancements that has happened, right? So they might not. In fact, there are a lot of data that says that Gen Zs probably are not aspiring to get into a regular 9 to 5 job, but they are more focused on gig works, more focused on freelancing opportunities, or they're trying to create their own opportunities through content creation, or so a lot of these things that used to be very challenging in the previous decades, like to create content, like a video, it used to be a big mammoth task. Like if you look at early 2000s, today it's like anybody can create a good video. If you have got good content, you can become a good content creator. You can build your own distribution. Once you have distribution, you can build products on top of it. So I think Gen Z's inherently have that mindset to think independently, and be very very focused on building something unique than what is there out there. However, of course, these thoughts and these aspirations probably might have to be channeled in the right way. I'm not saying that every Gen Z is looking to be an entrepreneur. In fact, lot of on the other side, from an employment side, we also hear the fact that it's very hard to hire a Gen Z. A lot of data, a lot of researchers, and a lot of entrepreneurs who are current entrepreneurs are mimicking this statement again and again, saying that it's very hard to hire a Gen Z employee. In fact, yesterday one of my friends posted on LinkedIn that Gen Z's want. He's running a startup, and he got a couple of job applications from Gen Z's. They explicitly told him, "I am very bad at execution, but I can sit for ideation and strategy meetings." This is somebody who is 20 something, who has never built something or built been part of something, and scaled it up, but they are ready to give strategies, which I believe is not the right approach. So I think they might have to, they have that access to all these tools and technology and everything else that the ecosystem currently provides. They need to use that access along with a grounded nature on how they can scale this up much better. That's probably what I would say. Like if they really want to be an entrepreneur, it's not just about strategies, or it's not just about meetings. It's about finally building something that people want, right? There is no way you can get out of it. Maybe you can speed up the process because of AI. Like you might not need a developer to build a prototype or an MVP today, so you can use AI tools to maybe build that by using vibe coding or something like that. But then at the end of the day, the fundamentals of entrepreneurship still remains the same. You have to build something that people want, right? Whether you're Gen Z, millennial, young, old, whichever nation you're from, the fundamental nature of business is that unless you give value, you will not get back value, which is money for you as an entrepreneur. So this doesn't change whatever generation you come from. But of course, a millennial probably will struggle to use an AI based tool today, while a Gen Z might be more okay to use an Instagram, or use Instagram Reels, put their life out there into the world, because there's a cultural shift that's there. But I would say they should take use of that power they have been given, and understand the fundamentals much more seriously, and build something that really people want. And then I think they will be much more successful than what the previous generation has been.
Thank you for the inspirational words, sir.